So today it is Entwistle reservoir, and as you can see, it's going to be a little bit of an icy day. Yeah, but it's icy and crisp, and it is lovely. Car park is empty, which means it's not going to be busy at all, which is brilliant for me. And of course we'll film everything. Look at that view. Oh, it is crispy. That is gorgeous. And we're going to go through the forest and we're going to make our way up to the top. So we're going to head down this way and we're going to head left. You can go right, which takes you to another reservoir, but we're not doing that today. We're going to go left. Oh, Poppy, it's iced over. For context, let's do the crunch. Oh, I love that sound. That is how cold it is down in Bury currently right now in Manchester. It is very cold today, and we are going to be heading up to just towards those trees, cut through the forest, go all the way up, and then as you can see there is already some snow appearing up there, and then we'll make our way back down to the car park. Look at this little guy, just getting some sun. Oh, that's cute. We'll leave him be. We're carrying on. See the snow up there, we might get some when we get up there, and hopefully might see some deer as well. This route we always see deer, however we have not come since the temperatures have dropped. So let's see what we might see when we get up there. You come to this part, should take you roughly around 26-30 minutes if you're a fast pacer. You can either go left, which walks you along the reservoir, or you can go right, which is the one we're going to take, and it takes you through a magnificent forest. Absolutely adore these views, which I will show you now. This is the forest. Now during summer we come here at least 3 or 4 times a week, and you do get to see some deer in the tree lines. Sometimes you miss them if you're not careful, keeping an eye out. But would you look at that? How magnificent is that? But we're going to carry on walking. I'll show you the next part where you need to take whichever route you wish to take. You can walk around the reservoir easily through this route as well, but we're going to try and go up, as long as it's not too icy and not too risky. Now you can't really tell on this camera, but that is actually dark for what we're normally used to when we come here. It's normally a lot brighter. Obviously we do come in summer, so I can't see any deer around just right now, but you never know if we continue on what we might find. Now I'm going to guess that the temperatures have dropped because you can see some snow, like kind of frost there. Now when I was walking then I was perfectly fine, and the next minute my arms started to get cold, so I do feel like it's going to be more and more cold the higher we get up. You can see there, like I said, there's like bits of snow there. So when you come to this part, you can either go left here or cross the bridge and go left, which takes you around the reservoir, or you can do the path potentially we're going to take, as long as we check it in a minute to see it's safe to walk up, and we're going to go up that way, all the leaves falling, because it is getting very icy. But if you do take the path to the right, there's 2 paths you can take when you get up there. One which leads you out here, which is entirely up to you. If you want to do this route and then also see the reservoir, you can do that. Or you can take the route that we're potentially going to take, which leads you right the way back to the top car park, and then you take a few steps and you go back to the original car park we are parked in. But we're going to take this route now and see what it is like. For context of how icy it is here today. Look at that. Whew. It is going to be an icy walk. This is where it does incline slightly for a good while till you get a bit further up. It does flatten out when you get up there, but it is very, very iced over. Well, I think it should be okay. I've seen a few people come down this way, so I'm going to say it is not too bad when you get further up. Look at that there. Wow. I've got a feeling the deer are going to be hibernating now. Now, once you've made it up that slight incline, you come to these. It's gorgeous red rock. Never really seen anything like this before, but it's worthy of a photo at least. Wow. Goes right the way around. But we're going to continue on, and up to now, all's good. It seems that we can go on our normal path. Would you look at this? You can tell that we're getting higher up. Ooh, it's getting a bit more snowy and crunchy up here. Okay, we're going to come to some part now. You might see some more of a view before I slip. Would you look at that? Wow. It is so crystallised. Wow. Right, let's carry on. And then you get to this view. Would you look? Wow. It's crazy how down below it's not even that bad. Up here it is so crispy and frosty. Going off to the right, it's just normal. Wow. But yeah, there has been also deer spotted here. Try and insert a photo. But wow. Now, like I said before, there is 2 pathways you can take to get down. We're going to take the longer route. I said, guys, you don't have to take that one though if you don't want to. You can take the shorter route, which does cut you through all this, but there is an actual path, which I will show you. It's kind of hidden through all this here, but I'll show you how to get to that once we get there. You can see it just about there. See it there, hedge down. So those steps, so you can go round the reservoir if you want, or you can take the one that we're going to take, which gives you a lovely high view of the reservoir, and you do have more chance of seeing deer when you do come here in the summer. So this is where you would take, but that's the path we're going to take over there. But now that I'm looking at it, it might be a bit too icy. It's not too bad there. We're going to head down anyway and have a little look to see how bad it is. If it is too bad, we'll come back up and we'll go a different route. But you can see here, we're going to ride right the way along there and go into the trees again. And let's see how bad it is, because this does not look promising. This is the path we're going to take left. And we're going to see now if we can actually get down it, because the sun might have melted a lot of it. That's what we're hoping for, because you can see here it's starting to melt. Pathway doesn't look too bad here. See what it's like when we get down. You'll see it's just full of trees that have fallen over. But this doesn't look promising, especially this part. And it's making me think, because there is another walk that is a bit of an incline. Is that going to be icy, and is that going to be possible to walk up safely? Because this is extremely slippery. But if we walk on the grass, we might not be too bad to get up there. Well, I nearly had myself going through this. That is thick and solid. Wow. I thought I could crack it, but that is just slip. But we made it up, wasn't too bad on the grass verge. And that's what I mean by the tree cemetery, this part. The rest doesn't look too bad. I think it's just going to be when we get to that incline walk. Going to see what it's like when we get there. If we have to turn around, we have to turn around. Hopefully we don't. But you look at that. Wow. Third incline what I was worried about. As you can see here, this ice isn't anywhere near as thick as it was up there. But wow. You can tell it's a lot colder here than it is down there. Oh. Let's see. Oh God, it looks a bit slippy. Oh. Let's see what it's like when we get towards it. Now, it doesn't look that steep when you see on camera. And when I showed my partner, he was like, not that bad. Trying to get up there, it's a different story. But it actually doesn't look that icy on this one. So I'll still walk on the verge and see how we get on. But wow, let's see the view when we get up here as well. That actually wasn't as bad as I thought. Crazy how white this is and green that is. But we're going to carry on. Still a bit more of an incline, but then it goes a bit more flat until we get to the next part. Now you continue through the forest. I said lovely views all the way through, and then you'll come to a point where you will see the entire reservoir, which is such a beautiful view, especially when you get up here. And as you can see, there's no one. I've passed one person since being up here. Such a beautiful, quiet, peaceful walk, especially like my dog who just loves to roam around, be off his lead. I know that a lot of people aren't always comfortable with that, so that's why it's a perfect walk if you want to just have some quiet time, let your dog have a roam. Brilliant. I'm going to say 5th incline, but before we do, would you look at that view? Wow. You cannot say that is not breathtaking, seeing that. Wow. Yeah, we've got to try and slide our way up that as well. That'll be fun, won't it? But I mean, you can't say that's not beautiful. As you can see down there as well, that's the path you can take, which takes you around the outside of the reservoir. I don't really like doing that just because he is a bit of a dopey dog. So I don't want him to fall in, because there has been dogs, unfortunately, that have fell in. Unfortunately, have not made it out. So forest is for me the best way. And now we're going to go up this part. And again, if you do decide to come this way one time, always keep your eye out. We've seen deer in here before. And it's just crazy how sometimes you don't expect it, and there they are. But I'm going to guess with this snow, they're probably tucked away. And I can't blame them. But wow, take that in. So this part, it is majority now downhill. Apart from one little part at the end, which is only a slight little incline, not much. But now it's all downhill towards the car park. Should roughly take you altogether around 3.5 miles to do the route, so it's not too bad. But we'll do it now and we'll see what it is at the end. To this part where there's a gate, you're going to turn left and head all the way down here. Follow this route. You'll see the pathway, it can get a bit confusing sometimes, but just stay on the path and it'll lead you back to the car park. And I will show you where it can get a little bit confusing when we get there. All the way down from there, it does have a little bit of a pathway, so you're fine to be able to navigate that. I wasn't expecting it to be even colder down here. I thought it would have been more cold at the top, but it actually is quite more cold, as obviously the sun's not made it onto here yet, so it is a lot more slippery, icy. You can hear it crunching. Listen to that. But we are going to make our way down, so there is that pathway you can take. I've never taken it that way, that's me being honest, only because I've always followed this route, just to the right, just make your way through. And yes, it is a little bit tighter, but it does take you directly back to the car park. But there is also another path when you get through this part where you can either go left and you can go towards the reservoir, or you can go right across the bridge and again cut you through a forest part and takes you to the car park. But we'll get to that part when we get there. So guys, like I said, we've now just come down there. There's a few logs that you step over, a few trees. It's easy to do. And you can either go straight on, or I say left, and you can go back that way to go to the car park, or you can go this route, which is to a right, which takes you across a nice little bridge, and you go back through a forest, and it takes you straight to the top car park. Like I said, there is 2 car parks for this reservoir, and they're both free. If you were coming from which direction is, obviously if you come from one, it'd be your first right. If you come from another, you take the first left. First left would be the top car park. If you take the first right, or for example coming the other way, it would be the second left. That is the bottom car park, and again they are both free. So it is a nice little enjoyment to be able to come here and stay here as long as you want. Will be the last little incline that we'll do on the walk, just to get back to the car park. And again, another gorgeous view. Honestly, this walk has the best views. I'm sorry, but it does for this reservoir. And another tree that's fell down. Take that in. That is absolutely good. When you come here on a very blue, crisp, especially in the morning, it's breathtaking in my opinion. I absolutely love it. And we'll walk on the verge again. We're going to cross over, then we'll show you the last little view at the back when we get up there. So that's the tiny little incline. This is the last good view that we see. You can see how snowy it is up there. Wow, that's amazing. But now it is completely flat. and then you just go down some stairs to get back to the car park. And again, show you when we get there. Lovely quiet part this is. I've just seen one dog then. He's having a play with my dog. Perfect. But like I said, you can take the route down there if you want to go past the reservoir. There's no stopping there. But for me, this is the route I do prefer. It takes you out, is to this car park. This is where you enter and exit for this car park if you are driving in. But we're going to go to the far corner over here, and that is where we're going to go down some steps to get to our car park. Now, if you want to do that route, and then also you do want to go back around the reservoir, you could also go left there as well, which if you want to go round twice, which we have done before, and it is an absolutely beautiful walk to do. Come through that car park, we come through and we come to some steps down here, and this is the bottom car park. If you've not parked here, you could have parked in the actual car park. This is just if it overflows or if there's work getting done, and you can just go down there and go to your left. That finishes off on 1 hour and 46 minutes and just under 3.7 miles. So again, we would normally do that a bit quicker, but with the conditions, and someone here likes to say hello to every dog that we pass. So make sure you click that like button, click that subscribe button, and see you next time when we might do another adventure, me and Bear.